I'm happy to be here again today with Professor Nimesh Patel, who was talking this morning about geographic atrophy. So could you walk us through the results of what you presented today?
Yes, so this was a really cool study because it was the first looking at a large real-world data set and looking at visual acuity outcomes in patients with geographic atrophy. It also based geographic atrophy in concurrent neovascular AMD, which is a patient population that hasn't been studied in the clinical trials, but is being treated. So we have to figure out about how they're doing. And our results actually were very promising. And it showed that in patients with geographic atrophy versus untreated patients, after propensity score matching them based on lesion size, there was slower visual acuity decline in patients with pegcetacoplan treatment. And then if you look at the patients with combination pegcetacoplan and anti-VEGF treatment, there was actually even a bigger benefit and slower visual acuity decline that was statistically significant at all time points in the study, 6 months, 12 months, and 18 months. So this was the first real-world or clinical trial study to demonstrate a statistically significant visual acuity benefit for geographic atrophy treatment with pegcetacoplan, both with and without neovascular AMD.
So this is very interesting and a bit surprising. How do you explain the difference between the trials and the results you got here in real-world data?
And I think we knew this was coming. You know, I think there was a lot of criticisms about the potential benefits of these treatments. But we have to remember geographic atrophy is a slow-moving disease, and the clinical trials can only enroll a few hundred patients. But when you can power this up, we had 8,000 patients in the study.
Which is a lot, yeah.
You can start to find the subtle differences that we expect. If you're slowing geographic atrophy down, you will eventually get a visual acuity benefit if you have enough patients or enough time. And thankfully, we had enough patients.
Awesome, fantastic. And I hope this will help us get the EMA approvals in Europe. Thank you.
Yes, I would say that that's definitely needed based on what we've learned in the last few years in the United States. There was a lot of skepticism initially, and I was one of those. But I think with all the data, putting it together, real world, clinical trial, what we've seen matching to GA lesion growth rates, and now we have visual acuity, it's clear these medications work and our patients need them.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yep.